take a deep breath, and let's hear a story about Snow, the white rabbit who found friendship and adventure on Willowbrook Farm. In the gentle embrace of Willowbrook Farm, where morning dew glistened like tiny diamonds upon emerald blades of grass, lived a small white rabbit named Snow. His fur was as pure as freshly fallen snow, soft and fluffy to the touch, reflecting the golden sunlight that streamed through the swaying branches of the old oak trees. The farm was a sanctuary of peace, filled with the melodious songs of birds and the soothing rustle of leaves dancing in the breeze. Snow shared his home with Farmer Emma, a kind-hearted woman with rosy cheeks and a warm smile that could melt the coldest of days. Her gentle hands would stroke Snow's velvet ears each morning, whispering sweet nothings that made his little heart flutter with joy. The farmhouse exuded the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread and honey, mixing with the clean scent of lavender that grew abundantly by the wooden fence. The rabbit's best friends were Oliver, the wise old owl who lived in the hollow of the ancient willow tree, and Daisy, the playful border collie with her black and white patches glistening under the sun. Together they formed an unlikely trio, bound by friendship and the shared love for adventures. Snow would often sit beside Oliver, listening to his stories of distant lands and magical creatures, feeling the cool evening air caress his fur. Mornings at Willowbrook Farm were Snow's favorite time, when the world was still drowsy and wrapped in a blanket of tranquility. He would hop out of his cozy hutch, feeling the cool grass beneath his paws, and take deep breaths of the fresh countryside air, filled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. These quiet moments filled Snow with gratitude for the simple joys of being alive and free to explore his beautiful home. The vegetable garden was Snow's paradise, with rows of crisp carrots, lush lettuce, and plump tomatoes ripening under the watchful eye of the sun. Farmer Emma had designated a special corner just for Snow, where he could nibble on tender greens to his heart's content. The juicy crunch of fresh vegetables was a delight to his senses, and he would close his eyes in bliss with each satisfying bite. Beyond the garden lay the enchanting meadow, a sea of colorful wildflowers, swaying in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the earth. Snow loved to bound through this magical place, feeling the soft touch of petals against his fur, and inhaling the sweet perfume that hung in the air like invisible clouds. The buzzing of bees creating liquid gold and the flutter of butterfly wings painted a picture of perfect serenity. The old apple orchard stood at the edge of the farm, its branches heavy with fruits that shone like rubies and emeralds in the dappled sunlight. Snow would sit beneath the trees, listening to the gentle thud of apples occasionally falling onto the cushion of soft grass. The orchard whispered secrets of seasons past, and Snow would feel a deep connection to the cyclical nature of life. A crystal-clear stream meandered through the property, its waters singing a lullaby as they danced over smooth pebbles of various hues. Snow would carefully approach the edge, watching his reflection ripple in the water and take small sips that tasted like liquid starlight. The coolness would spread through his small body, refreshing him on even the warmest summer days. At the heart of Willowbrook Farm stood a magnificent oak tree, its massive trunk telling stories of centuries gone by. Snow had discovered a small hollow at its base, perfectly sized for a rabbit seeking shelter from occasional summer showers. The earthy scent of bark and moss created a cocoon of comfort, and Snow would often nap there, lulled by the distant sound of raindrops playing their gentle percussion. The chicken coop was always a source of amusement for Snow, with its feathered residents clucking and strutting about with self-importance. Henrietta, the plump mother hen, had taken a special liking to Snow and would sometimes sit beside him, her warm body radiating comfort as they watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of pink and gold. There was something deeply soothing about her soft clucking sounds. As twilight descended upon Willowbrook Farm, the world transformed into a canvas of deep blues and purples. Fireflies emerged like floating lanterns, their gentle glow creating a magical atmosphere that filled Snow with wonder. These quiet moments of transition between day and night seemed to suspend time, allowing Snow to reflect on the beauty that surrounded him every day. The starry nights at the farm were a spectacle of cosmic beauty that never failed to fill Snow with awe. He would sit on his favorite hillock, his white fur illuminated by moonlight, gazing up at the vast expanse of twinkling diamonds scattered across the velvet sky. The cool night breeze would ruffle his fur, carrying the distant hooting of Oliver and the sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine. Farmer Emma's nightly ritual included checking on Snow before retiring to bed, tucking him into his soft bed of hay with a small treat of fresh mint leaves. The comforting knowledge that he was loved and cared for would wrap around Snow like an invisible blanket. As his eyelids grew heavy with contentment, he would drift off to sleep with dreams of tomorrow's adventures dancing in his mind. One golden autumn morning, Snow awoke to unusual sounds coming from the farmhouse, the excited voices of children and the rustle of unfamiliar footsteps. Farmer Emma's grandchildren had arrived for their annual visit, bringing with them a flurry of activity that rippled through the peaceful atmosphere of Willowbrook Farm. Snow's ears perked up with curiosity as he cautiously hopped toward the new energy that filled his home. The children, Lily, age 8 with auburn braids, and Max, age 6 with curious blue eyes, spotted Snow immediately and gasped with delight at his pristine white coat. Their excitement was palpable in the air, sweet and bubbling like fresh spring water, yet Snow felt a flutter of nervousness in his small chest. He had never been around children before, and their quick movements and loud voices made him retreat to the safety of the vegetable garden. Farmer Emma noticed Snow's apprehension and gathered her grandchildren for a gentle talk about respecting animals and their feelings. She explained how Snow needed quiet approaches and soft voices to feel safe, painting a picture of trust that needed to be built slowly, like the morning dew collecting on spider webs. The children listened intently, their eyes wide with understanding and patience blooming in their hearts. Over the next few days, Lily and Max learned to sit quietly near Snow's favorite spots, their breathing slowing to match the peaceful rhythm of the farm. They brought offerings of crisp lettuce leaves and fragrant herbs, placing them on the ground before retreating to a respectful distance. The aroma of fresh cilantro and mint wafted through the air, creating an invitation that Snow found increasingly difficult to resist. Snow observed the children from behind the shelter of flowering bushes, noting how they helped their grandmother with farm chores, their laughter like musical notes floating on the breeze. Their genuine love for the animals and plants of Willowbrook Farm resonated with Snow's own appreciation of his home. Gradually, his fear began to dissolve like morning mist under the gentle touch of sunlight. On the 5th day, as golden afternoon light bathed the farm in a honey-colored glow, Snow made a brave decision that sent his heart racing like the wings of a hummingbird. He emerged from his hiding place and hopped cautiously toward Lily, who was sitting cross-legged in the grass with a book of animal stories open on her lap. The soft rustle of pages turning had created a soothing backdrop that calmed Snow's nervous heart. Time seemed to slow as Snow approached, his paws making barely a sound on the cushion of clover. Lily noticed him and held her breath, her eyes shining with wonder, but her body perfectly still. The connection between child and rabbit stretched across the space between them, fragile yet powerful, like spider silk catching the light. When Snow finally allowed Lily's fingers to stroke his ears, the joy that radiated from her was as warm as the summer sun. Max joined them with careful movements, his usually boundless energy contained in respect for this magical moment of connection. The children's gentle touches felt like butterfly kisses on Snow's fur, sending waves of contentment through his small body. The three formed a circle of newfound friendship, breathing in unison as the afternoon stretched lazily around them like a cat in the sun. That evening, as fireflies began their luminous dance across the darkening sky, Farmer Emma invited Snow to join them on the porch. The rabbit hesitated only briefly before hopping up the wooden steps, drawn by the circle of warmth and the children's soft calls. A family gathering was transformed by his presence, and Snow felt a new sense of belonging wash over him, like a gentle wave on a sandy shore. The following morning brought rain that pattered soothingly on the roof of the farmhouse, creating a symphony of nature that kept everyone indoors. The children built a fort of blankets and pillows in the living room, leaving an opening specifically for Snow to enter if he wished. The cozy space smelled of cinnamon and apples, with soft lamplight creating pools of gold among the shadows. Curiosity led Snow into their sanctuary, where he discovered a world of imagination and stories. Lily read aloud from her book, her voice rising and falling like the distant hills, painting pictures with words that made Snow's whiskers twitch with interest. Max created shadow puppets on the wall, bringing to life the characters in his sister's stories. Together in their shelter from the rain, they created memories soft as dandelion fluff. A concerning moment arose when Max accidentally knocked over a vase, the crash startling Snow into a panic that sent him bolting from the fort. His heart pounded like a drum as he hid beneath a cabinet, trembling with a sudden rush of fear. The children were distressed, worried they had lost the fragile trust they had built with their new friend. The room fell silent except for the continued rhythm of rain against the windows. Lily had an idea that unfolded like a flower opening to the morning light. She remembered Snow's love for the soothing melodies Farmer Emma hummed while working in the garden. With a voice as gentle as a summer breeze, Lily began to sing a lullaby her grandmother had taught her about fields of lavender and skies of endless blue. The notes floated through the room, wrapping around furniture and finding Snow in his hiding place. The lullaby worked like a spell, weaving threads of comfort through the air, reaching into Snow's frightened heart and slowly calming his racing pulse. The familiar melody reminded him of safe evenings and kind hands, of the constant love that surrounded him at Willowbrook Farm. Gradually, his trembling subsided like ripples fading on a pond, and he emerged from his hiding place with cautious hope. Lily and Max remained perfectly still, creating a space of absolute acceptance that enveloped the room like a warm blanket. Their patience was rewarded when Snow hopped toward them, his trust rebuilt on the foundation of their gentle response to his fear. The connection between them strengthened, resilient now like the roots of the old oak tree that weathered countless storms and emerged stronger with each passing season. The rain continued its soothing patter, but inside the farmhouse, a celebration of newfound understanding blossomed like spring flowers after a long winter. Farmer Emma brought carrot cookies fresh from the oven, their sweet aroma filling the room with comfort. The children shared their treats with Snow, and the simple act of breaking bread together cemented their friendship in ways words never could. As the days passed, Snow became an eager participant in the children's farm adventures, teaching them the secret pathways known only to the animals of Willowbrook. He showed them the hidden patch of wild strawberries whose sweetness burst like tiny explosions of joy on the tongue. He guided them to the perfect climbing tree, its branches forming natural seats, cushioned with moss as soft as velvet against the skin. In return, the children read to Snow from their books, expanding his world beyond the boundaries of the farm with tales of distant oceans and mountains reaching to the sky. Their words painted pictures in his mind that danced like the patterns of light filtering through leaves. These quiet moments of shared imagination created a bond that transcended the differences between them, connecting heart to heart with invisible threads of understanding. One sunny afternoon, Max discovered a lost baby bird that had fallen from its nest, its tiny body trembling with fear and vulnerability. The little boy's face clouded with concern as he gently cradled the creature in his hands. Snow watched as Lily carefully constructed a soft nest in a shoebox, her movements deliberate and gentle. The children turned to Snow, their eyes asking for his help. Together, this unlikely team created a sanctuary for the baby bird, Farmer Emma providing guidance while Snow offered the comfort of his warm presence beside the box. They took turns watching over their tiny charge, feeding it with dropper and keeping it safe through day and night. The shared purpose united them in a mission of compassion that filled their hearts with meaning like a cup being filled with clear, cool water. When the day came to return the now stronger bird to its mother, a profound sense of accomplishment washed over them, like the golden light of sunset. They watched as the fledgling rejoined its family in the branches of the apple tree, its grateful mother's song filling the air with musical thanks. The joy of having made a difference settled deep within them all, a treasure to be carried forever in the quiet chambers of their hearts. The children's visit was drawing to a close, the calendar pages turning too quickly like leaves caught in an autumn breeze. A heaviness settled in Snow's chest at the thought of their departure, a bittersweet ache that was new to him. He had never known how deeply friendship could touch his life, changing the colors and textures of his world until everything seemed brighter, more vibrant. On their final evening, Farmer Emma organized a special picnic beneath the stars, with soft blankets spread on the grass and lanterns hanging from tree branches like captured pieces of the moon. The night air wrapped around them like silk, carrying the sweet scent of ripe peaches and the distant melody of crickets singing their evening symphony. They shared stories and dreams under the vast canopy of twinkling lights. Lily had brought a special gift for Snow, a small handmade collar of soft blue fabric with a silver bell that chimed gently like distant wind chimes. "So you'll remember us," she whispered as she carefully fastened it around his neck. The weight of the tiny bell was light, but the weight of its meaning settled deeply in Snow's heart, a permanent reminder of the love they had shared. As morning dawned on departure day, the farm was wrapped in a gentle mist that softened all edges like a painter's brush blending colors on canvas. Goodbyes were exchanged with promises of return when summer flowers would once again bloom across the meadows. The children hugged Snow carefully, their touch imprinting memories upon his fur like invisible fingerprints that would never fade. After the car disappeared down the dusty road, Snow returned to his familiar routines, but everything felt different now, enriched by the experiences shared and lessons learned. The farm continued its peaceful rhythm, but now Snow carried within him a broader understanding of friendship and courage. The silver bell occasionally chimed as he moved, a sweet reminder that connections of the heart transcend distance. That evening, as the sun painted farewell streaks of pink and gold across the sky, Snow sat on his favorite hillock overlooking Willowbrook Farm. A profound contentment settled over him like the softest blanket, warm and secure. He closed his eyes, feeling gratitude spread through him for the farm, for Farmer Emma, for his animal friends, and for the children who had expanded his world. As stars began to appear like distant lanterns, Snow drifted into peaceful dreams, knowing that love, once given, never truly leaves. It simply waits like seeds beneath winter snow, ready to bloom again when the time is right.